This is Bleeding Critic. If you've made a short horror film, make sure you keep watching when this review's over. And for the rest of you, if you want to be actually seen on my interactive site, there's 2 exciting opportunities I'm going to tell you about, so you also need to stick around. The most brutal experience I've seen on film about an autopsy is the stunning and shocking short horror film Aftermath. So make sure you watch my spoiler-free video review for that nasty piece of work. The Autopsy of Jane Doe is Pepsi light horror compared to Aftermath, but that doesn't mean it's a film to miss. Whenever I notice the actor Brian Cox in a film, my reaction is, can't they cast someone else? He seems to be cast in everything, but in this particular film, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, Brian Cox's performance is the best he's done since he played Hannibal Lecter in Michael Mann's 1986 film Manhunter. The music created for The Autopsy of Jane Doe is excellent, especially the music that kicks in during the end credits. There are times surgical masks are not worn when in an autopsy they would have been. I just can't stand common sense details like that being missed. Although several times the autopsy of Jane Doe does misfire because of weak horror imagination, it's still chilling and scary. The film feels a bit rushed at times and dialogue could have been reduced. The prosthetics, blood and body organ effects are seriously well done and utterly believable. It's great to see a horror film with a small cast attempting to deliver something a little different from the usual and expected. It's actually a great little number. Personally, I just wanted this film to have its existing ideas done differently. And you know what? If some of the predictable scares were removed and the film focused on developing the father and son dynamics, adding a sinister twist to their supportive relationship, then this horror film would have been better. If you do decide to see it, try not to be too dismissive because it can come across a little over the top, but if you're in a forgiving mood, you'll really appreciate The Autopsy of Jane Doe. The bones of its story is quite special and it looks good too. It just needed several nasty moments to totally mess with my head. But you know what? As it is, I enjoyed it. Ever since I've watched this film, I keep thinking about those long still shots of Jane's dead face. The most frightening thing about this film is that I'll never forget her face.
Submit your short horror film.
I'm Bleeding Critic. I feature short horror films on my interactive website, especially ones that don't always get the attention they deserve, and ones by female directors. So if you've made a short horror film, have it featured on my website for free. I'll film a special spoiler-free introduction to encourage people to follow, support and interact with you. So send your short horror film to me at bleedingcritic@live.com. The following 53-second trailer explains how you can be heard and actually seen on my interactive horror website. Horror therapy is when you talk about a moment from your real life that scared, terrified or disturbed you. Do you regret playing around in that cemetery when you were a teenager? And do you feel vulnerable when you think about that nightmare you had?
Your horror therapy session.
You want a true story, and I have a true story.
It was the most terrifying thing I had ever in my entire life felt.
I started getting the chills really, really bad. I was done. I just wanted to leave.
Send your horror therapy session film to bleedingcritic@live.com.
Share your horror memory.
Film yourself and talk about a moment from any recent or old horror film that disturbed you. I'll add your Twitter handle, then I'll load it up here to your horror memories page with everyone else. Send your clip to
bleedingcritic@live.com.